Today we are doing lesson 13. We're solving systems by substitution. So for 13.1, we are doing, we're evaluating expressions. So we're going to find the value of y when the x value is 5. So we are going to have y equals 3. So we're going to put it in parentheses. We're going to put the 5 in parentheses here for the x. So this x value, so x equals 5, that is going to go into the expression for the x. Then we're going to subtract 4. So what is 3 times 5?
15.
So y equals 15 minus 4. So we did this part right here. What is 15 minus 4?
11.
Okay, our final answer when we have x and y needs to be a coordinate pair. So our x, y values are going to be 5, 11. So your final answer should always be a coordinate pair. All right. Do your roses have numbers on them? Like, is this number 1? Does it have that?
No.
No? Okay. That's good to know. Okay, let's go to this one. We have y equals 2/5 x plus 4. So we're going to do the same thing. We're going to plug in the 5. So we're going to get y equals 2/5 times 5 plus 4. What is 2/5 of 5? What's the easiest way to...
2?
It's just 2. How'd you get that?
Because we're multiplying by the same numbers, we could just say that the bottom number is just 5.
2 divided by 5. No, it's not 3, but
Okay.
without the decimals.
So we could either say 5/5 is 1, so we have 2 left over. Or we could say 2 times 5 is 10, and 10 divided by 5 is 2. So we have y equals 2 plus 4. What is 2 plus 4? 6. So y equals 6. So what's my coordinate pair?
2, 6.
5, 6.
5, 6. We're still using a 5 up here. All right. Let's do this one over here. Actually, I'm going to circle that one first. Okay. So on this one, we have y equals 2x plus 3 plus 3x minus 1. So what do you think we're going to do on this one?
Plug in the 5.
Okay. So where do I plug in the 5?
Under the 2x and 3x.
Okay, so 2 times 5 plus 3 plus 3 times 5. That's going to be in parentheses, minus 1. Okay, what's 2 times 5?
10.
What is 3 times 5?
15.
What is 10 plus 3?
13.
And what is 15 minus 1?
14.
Okay, what is 13 plus 14?
27.
What's my final coordinate?
527.
I guess I thought he was not supposed to
No,
when Grace would answer.
Last one, we have y equals 4x minus x plus 1. So what am I going to do here?
Plug in the 5s on the 4x and the x.
Okay, so 4 times 5
20.
minus 5 plus 1. And 4 times 5 is 20. So y equals 20 minus, what's 5 plus 1?
6.
6. What is 20 minus 6?
14. And the coordinate here is 5, 14.
All right. Now we're going to solve for the indicated variable. So we're not always going to have x's and y's. So for on this first one, we're going to solve for k. So we have, how do we solve for k?
I have no idea.
How do we isolate it? Okay. So you guys really like drawing a line down the equal sign when you want to do this. So what do we do to solve for k?
You subtract k from the side.
I'm going to leave the k there.
Okay, so you
Take out the t.
How do you take out the t?
We do divided by 2. No, subtract by 2.
We're going to subtract
Because
2t.
it's the opposite of addition, which is
Same.
the present equation. So
Yes. So we are going to get k equals what?
Why is there a line like that?
What? Which line?
Like, why is it?
Dashed? Oh,
No,
but,
no, like,
okay. So what's on the right side of the equal sign?
6.
6 what?
6 minus 2t.
So
There we go. All right, let's do 2. Now we're going to solve for c. How do I solve for c?
we had 60 to both sides.
Mm-mm. What'd you say?
Divide 12 with this side.
Not 12.
3?
3. We're going to divide by 3 on both sides because the 3 is attached to our c, so we want that to be a 1. So we're going to get c equals, what is 12 divided by 3? What 12 divided by 3 is?
Not 2.
12 divided by 3 is 4. Okay, negative 3d divided by 3. What is that?
Negative 3. D.
Sorry, negative 6d divided by 3. I might have said negative 3d. I meant to say negative
Negative
6d. Negative 2 what?
Negative 2D.
Negative 2d. All right, number 3. We are going to solve for n. What do I do to solve for n? What do I do to isolate it? Divide by what? 10. Divide by 10 on both sides. So we get n equals, what is 2p divided by 10?
Negative 5, I believe.
No, wouldn't it
Just 5.
It's going to be a fraction because it does not simplify. So what number goes into both 2 and 10? 2. How many times does 2 go into 2? 1. So our numerator is going to be p or 1p. Our denominator is going to be, how many times does 2 go into 10? What? 5. So it's going to be p over 5. All right, last one. Now we're going to solve for g. How do I isolate the g? What do I need to do first to get it by itself?
Divide.
No. Too soon for that.
Subtract 4.
Subtract 4. So no, not with h. Okay. So we get 8g on the right. What do we get on the left?
Negative 4h.
Uh,
Negative 5h.
You can't combine those. What?
Is it something?
8g minus 4.
So it's going to be h minus 4. Okay. Just for clarification, this g is in the instructions, not as part of the equation you're solving. Okay. Now what do we do, Braden?
We divide
By what?
8.
8. We divide by the number that is attached to the letter we're trying to isolate. So we get G equals, what's going to be on the left side? What is H divided by 8? Can I simplify that? Mm-mm. So it's going to be H divided by 8. What is negative 4 divided by 8? Okay, if I have negative 4 over 8, can I make that be a whole number? No. Can I simplify it? What can I simplify it to? 1/2. We keep our negative sign because there's not 2, so we have 1 negative sign. Negative 1/2 because 4 goes into 4 1 time, and 4 goes into 8 2 times. Minus 1/2. All right, let's go to the next page. All right, we have 4 systems here. We're going to solve each system by graphing. Then we're going to solve the system using substitution. So that's why you have a lot of space at the bottom. So what we're going to do first is graph it. Then I'm going to show you how to use substitution at the bottom. So, first one. How do I graph this equation? X plus 2y equals 8. Can I graph this equation in its current form? Not very easily. So what form do I need to put it in?
Is that like the XY plus B, something like that?
Something like that.
Oh, I forgot what.
Slope what?
Intercept?
Slope intercept. Yes, you were on the right track. Slope intercept form. What is slope intercept form? Does anybody remember?
Y equals mx plus b.
Y equals mx plus b. You were on the right track, though. You were very close. Okay. So, is my first equation down here, is this in slope-intercept form? No. How do I put it in slope-intercept form?
The y has to come first, and then the intercept, and then the x, right?
Okay.
No, that's the number 4.
Which letter has to be isolated?
Y.
The y. How do I isolate the y?
No, just a one.
Subtract what?
Subtract by 2. Okay.
Is it 2?
X. Subtract the x. Okay. So that'll get rid of our x on the left side. So we are left with 2y equals what?
2y equals 8 minus x.
8 minus x. Now what do I do to isolate my y? Divide by 2 because it's still attached to my y. I want it to have a 1 in front of it. So we're going to get y equals, what is 8 divided by 2? 4. What is negative x divided by 2? Negative x divided by 2. Okay, in my equation now, what is my slope? What is my m?
4.
You sure about that?
-2.
So it's going to be negative 1/2.
Oh, okay.
Because x can be substituted for 1.
Because there's a 1 attached to the x. So we could put a 1 right here. We could move, let's move this. We could move our x. Ooh, that's not what I wanted. Give me, no, stop it. Let's undo that. I didn't want to spin it. I wanted to just move it. It does not want to work with me. Okay, basically we could move the x to be beside it and have negative 1/2. So what is our y-intercept? What is our b?
Negative 1/2.
What did it before?
4. So, just a reminder, your slope, your m, is what is going to be attached to the x, not the x itself. So it doesn't matter if it is the second term or the third term in the equation. We could have written this equation as y equals negative 1/2 x plus 4. And then it would be exactly in this form. But this is technically the same equation. Do you agree with that? Do you see that? Okay. Sorry, now you're getting my arrows late. Okay, so how do I graph this equation? So my y-intercept is technically a coordinate at 0, 4. So where does my first point go?
0, 4.
At 0, 4. What's my slope? Negative 1/2. How do I do that slope? For negative 1, do I go up or down?
Down.
For positive 2, do I go right or left?
Right.
Right. So for negative 1/2, we're going to go down 1 and to the right 2. We're going to go down for the negative and to the right for positive. If they were both negatives, what would my slope be?
Yeah.
So if I had a negative and I went down, and then I went to the left, and that's also negative, would my slope be negative then? No, what would it be? It would be positive, because a negative over a negative is a positive. Okay, I'm going to erase that real quick. So let's do a couple of these points. I'm just going to do it all the way across my graph because I want to make sure I have good points so I don't mess up connecting them. Because sometimes I do that, and I would expect that you guys probably do that too. So we're going to connect those points and try to make it as straight as you can because I haven't given you rulers. It's okay. How do I graph x equals negative 5? Do I have
5, 0.
negative 5, 0?
Oh, it said 0. I thought you said string. I said,
What does that mean? Am I just going to put a point there?
no, that's the x.
So, do I just leave one point there? What do I do with that?
Your slope, which is
What's my slope? Do I have a slope in this one?
Yeah.
You do not have a slope here. No. So for any value of y, your x value is going to be negative 5. So we're going to have a vertical line through x equals negative 5. Okay? So I'm going to erase this right here because I don't want you to just think it's a point. It is a vertical line. So where do my two graphs intersect? At about what coordinate?
They intersect at negative 5, 7.
Negative 5, 6.5. Okay, so that is going to be our solution for the system. Okay, I think what I want to do with you guys right now is I want to work through all of these graphs first and then go back and show you substitution, okay? So we're going to work through the graphs and then come back and I'll show you how to do substitution and check your answers and everything, okay? So for B, is my equation right here, is it in slope-intercept form?
Yes.
Yes. What is my slope?
13.
Negative 7. I almost wrote 13 because you said 13. All right. What is my B?
13.
So what's the coordinate for that? No. Just for the B. 0, 13. So where's my first point go? 0, 13. Okay. What? Okay, 0, 13 should be about right here. About halfway between those 2 points. Okay, what's my slope? Okay. How do I do a slope of negative 7? Down how many? Down 7. Then what do I do? Not over 7. If I don't have a fraction, what is my denominator? 0. You can't divide by 0. If I do not have a denominator, 1. Because anything divided by 1 is itself. So we're going to go, which direction do you think we're going to go?
Left.
If I go left, what does that make my slope? If I go left, 1. So we went down, that's a negative. We went to the left, that's negative. We're going to go to the right because we want to have a negative slope this time. So we're going to go right. Negative over a positive is a negative over a positive is a negative. Okay, so we're going to go down 7. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Then we're going to go to the right, 1. Okay, I'm just gonna do those 4, I think. Wait, what was our y is -1. Okay, yeah, I'm gonna leave that at this and just connect these ones. And whenever you are graphing, I want you to fill your whole graph, and that was not very straight and I did not like that. So I'm gonna fix this. So I want you to fill your whole graph. I don't want to see a line that stops just at your coordinates that you put in, just at your points. I want to see it go all the way across because it needs to fill the whole graph unless you know that it is stopping and it's a segment. So for right now, we're mainly working with lines, so it needs to fill the whole graph. All right. How do I graph this line? Y equals -1. Go to -1 where? Which axis?
Oh, what?
The y-axis. We're going to go to -1. Is my line here going to be vertical or horizontal? It's going to be horizontal. So it's going to go through about the halfway point here. That was really not straight, so I'm going to fix that. Let's make it a little bit better. It's all good. Okay, what point, where do my two lines cross? Where do they intersect? At what? To what? -1. All right, let's go to the next page and we are going to graph the next two. All right, we have 3x equals 8. Can I graph this equation the way it is?
No.
What do I need to do? Do I have two variables? So that tells me automatically that my line is either going to be vertical or horizontal. It's not going to have a slope. So what do I do? So we have 3x equals 8. How do I graph this line? Or what do I need to do to the equation to make it to where I can graph this line? What's the difference between this equation and this equation or this equation? What's different? We had x equals -5 and y equals -1. So what's the difference here?
Oh, like they're kind of like switched.
Okay, so we had x equals -5, y equals -1.
We've got a number in front of the first variable.
We have a number in front of the variable. How do I get rid of that? We divide them. What do I divide them by? 3. So x equals, let's do 8/3. Let's put it in decimal form. How many times does 8 go into 3? Twice. So if I take out 2, how many are left on the numerator? So how many did I take out?
2, but that
Oh, you got
6. So we took out 6/3.
There's
2/3. 2/3, what is that as a decimal? What's 2/3? What's the percentage of 2/3? Does anybody remember that? Or 1/3? It's 66%, so it's 0.66. Or 0.6 repeating. So let's go to 2.6 on the x-axis. So we're going to go probably about right there. Not quite to the 3 line, but somewhere close to 2/3 of the way there. Then we're going to make, is it going to be a horizontal or vertical line? Vertical. Why is it a vertical line?
Because it's a y equal, no.
Because it's not y. What's the other one?
X.
X. All right. Now we're going to do this equation. Can I graph it as it currently is? What do I need to do to it?
Isolate the y.
Isolate the y. What do I do to isolate the y?
Isn't it the x? Isn't it the x you need to isolate?
No, it's the y, so it's y equals mx plus b.
Oh.
Yep, y equals mx plus b. So how do I isolate the y?
Divide. Subtract.
Subtract. What do I subtract?
15.
3.
3x.
3x. You subtract the 3x. So what do we get on the right side? We get y equals what?
2x.
Not 2x. I don't know how you got that.
12x, right? No.
You cannot combine these
Y
terms.
equals 15 minus 3x.
15 minus 3x. Why can you not combine these terms?
Because it's a variable.
Because one of the terms has a variable. So because the 15 does not have an x, I cannot combine those. All right, this equation right here is, what is my m? What is my slope?
Negative 3.
-3. What is my y-intercept?
15.
What is it as a coordinate?
-3, 15.
What's my y-intercept as a coordinate? 0, 15. Okay, how do I graph this? Okay, go to 15, and then what do I do?
Negative 3, 1.
Okay, so we go down 3, and then we go right or left 1.
Left
You sure about that?
1. No, right 1.
Why do I go right 1?
Because it's a negative.
Because our slope is negative, so if we go down, it's negative, and if we go right, it's positive. And -3 over +1 is what?
Negative 3.
-3, and that's what we want. So we're going to go down 1, 2, 3, and to the right 1. Okay. I'm going to connect these. Ooh, that is not right. No, that doesn't work. Okay. Do your best to connect the points. Again, it doesn't have to be perfect. Just make sure it fills your whole graph. Approximately where do these points intersect?
Around the 8. No. 6. 4. Or 3.
Okay, so it should be your y value, or your x value, sorry. Your x value, I'm going to give you a little thing here. If your x has a specific value like it does up here, your x value is always going to be the number you got right here. X is 2.6 repeating. So this coordinate is going to be 2.6 repeating, comma. Our y value is a little bit trickier. So it is going to be between 6 and 8. So we're going to assume it's about 7. At least that's how mine looks. Does yours look like that? Okay. So, I'm going to go ahead and leave 8 or D for you to do. So, right now what I want to do is I want to have you guys check our answers that we've gotten so far. How we're going to do that, we're going to go back over here. We're going to start with the basics of substitution. So we're going to plug in the numbers that we got for our answers. So go back to A. So we got -5, 6.5 for our solution for A, right? We're going to take that number, or that coordinate, and we're going to plug it in to the equation that has X and Y in it. So we're going to take -5 and we're going to plug it in for X right here. So we're going to have -5 plus 2. We're going to plug in 6.5 for our Y. So 6.5 equals 8. All right, what is 2 times 6.5? A little bit more than that. It's not 0.5. So if I put it over here to the side, 6.5 times 2, what is 5 times 2?
10,
What is 2 times 6?
12,
Plus 1?
130.
And you put your decimal place in here. You move that over, move this over, remember? All right, so it's 13. So we get -5 plus 13 equals 8. What is -5 plus 13? What is 13 minus 5?
8.
8. Does 8 equal 8?
Yeah.
Yes, it is our solution. So we got it, we graphed it correctly. All right. Let's go ahead and do this exact same thing for all of these other graphs. So we got 2, -1. So we're going to plug it in to this blue equation up here. So we're going to have Y is going to be -1 equals, actually, hold on one second. I'm going to write down my equation down here. Y equals -7x plus 13. So I'm going to plug in this coordinate. So we'll get, whoo, I'm making lines. We're going to get -1 equals -7, not 2, times 2 plus 13. What is -7 times 2? What is -14 plus 13?
-1.
-1. Does -1 equal -1?
Yes.
Yes. All right. Next page. Let's do the same thing for the one we just finished. So we got 2.67. And we have 3x plus y equals 15. So we're going to plug everything in. So we're going to have 3 times 2.6 plus 7 equals 15. What was our fraction we had for 2.6 repeating? 8/3. Does that make this equation a little easier to deal with? No, it's not a decimal. A little bit, because I have a fraction I'm multiplying by the same number as the denominator. So what can I do with that? What can I do with the 2 3s? We can cancel them out. So we are going to get 8 plus 7 equals 15. What is 8 plus 7?
8 plus
15.
is 15. Does 15 equal 15? Yes. Okay, so I want you guys to practice with this problem over here. Quick. So practice with D, and we will do the practice problems tomorrow.